is going on, guys? Welcome to the first episode of Yeyo's Backyard. I'm your host, Yeyo. How's everybody doing today on this fine morning? Oh, actually, it's afternoon. Kind of woke up a little late today, so we're trying a little jobs day today. Today, we are going to be working on a '07 Suburban. Now, what's going on here with this vehicle? There's not that really much stuff that's going on. It's just gaskets are leaking. I do have a wheel sensor that I need to get fixed, but we'll get to that eventually. Today we are going to be replacing the valve cover gaskets. Now, don't know if you guys can see that pretty well, but it is leaking pretty bad, and I am going to replace those gaskets today. Now I'm going to show you guys little tips and tricks that I learned on YouTube and things that I know personally. And also, I don't know if you guys saw that, but this vehicle, not gonna be working on today. My mom, she's saying her car is feeling funny. She thinks she needs oil, so I'm just gonna double check the oil, double check the fluids, and see what's going on. But for right now, we'll get started in the Suburban, and let's get right into it. And the first thing you want to do is we got to remove this cover to get to the bolts. Oh, let it focus. To get to the bolt to this over here. Now these hoses, I'm just gonna push them to the side. I'm not gonna take these hoses off on the passenger side. Now the driver's side, it's a lot easier. You just got this hose right here. You take off the coils, boots, not the boots, but the coils right here, the wires. Goddamn, can't speak today. The wires. And then there's 5 bolts. I'm gonna show you guys here in a little bit, but there's one right there. There's one that's actually under here. That one right there. And then there's 2 more on that side. This side, the driver's side, it's always the easier side on these vehicles. We're gonna take those out. We're not gonna take these off individually. We're gonna take out the whole thing itself. And then there's 4 bolts holding in the valve cover. So we'll go ahead and get started on this side first. Also, anytime you're working on a vehicle, don't forget to disconnect the battery. If you're messing with anything electrical, you don't want anything to shock you, and you don't want this vehicle to turn on at any point and accidentally. So be sure you take out the positive side on the terminal on your battery. So we're already getting started. Already got one off. Got to take these others off. They just come right off. Just slide them, boom, get them out the way. And I'm a pretty tall guy, but this Suburban is pretty tall, so I may need to grab a stool or something so I can get back there, because obviously I ain't making it up from my height. Alrighty, we got those coils off, and now these, I'm just using common hand tools, something anybody can usually get. You guys can do this at their house. You guys gotta go to the mechanic. Now these bolts that I'm about to take off that holds up the coils, these are 10 mil. You got one right here, you got one over here. I'm just taking these off right now. Also, don't forget to take off these wires right here that are holding in, that are holding these, not holding, but they're connected to the coil packs. Because if you don't take those off and you try to take this whole housing bracket, there it goes, bracket off, yeah, you're gonna be having troubles with those right there. Oh my god, focus, there's in there. So I'm gonna get those taken off here shortly. And then there's one more bolt that I'm trying to, I need to get, I should say 3 bolts. I'm gonna use this chair. My cover fell. There, I gotta, I'm dropping things, man. What the heck? Gotta get this off. And then there's one more that's back here, I believe. I'm just double checking. Yep. Okay, I'm gonna try to get you guys back there real quick so that way you can see. I can't see anything because my hand's in the way. It is right there. Right there, there it is. Can't see because tight space. That's the last bolt you gotta get. There's one that was covered by this thing. You can see it right there. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. God dang it. Focus, camera. Thank you. 5. That's right here. There's only 5 that's holding in this bracket. And then, actually, I'm going ahead. Oh, also, like I said, the coils. And don't forget to take this off. It's just a simple pull back on this little tab. Holds in this wire. Simple like that. You pull up and it comes right off. Look at that. Oh, you did not see anything. I'm not paying attention to my camera. Okay, so a simple tab that holds in right here. You just pull it out and you just simply push this up and this whole connector comes off. I'm going ahead and get that out the way. I gotta start paying attention to this camera. But it's hard to do when you're working and you gotta see. So I'm gonna take off these wires to the coils. Out my finger. And for some reason I hurt my finger at work the other day. I don't know how I did it, but it feels like I cut it, but there's no cut. So I don't know what happened. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get those out the way. And then I'm gonna start taking off these bolts. And then I'm gonna show you guys the bracket. Alrighty. So this is what it looks like when you take that bracket off. And then once, so you can see here, there's that 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There it is. And now, once you, also, I noticed, now I did watch a couple of videos, I'm not gonna lie. I did watch a couple of videos, a lot of people are saying to disconnect those coils. You actually do not even have to disconnect it. Because it actually comes, let me grab this. It actually comes in the bracket. So, in all honesty, if there's like no wires in between here, you don't have to disconnect those. So that's actually a good discovery. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But now, I mean, you can see, look at that. You can see all that gunk on there, man. I'm gonna wash that off and clean it up real good. But yeah, after that, you just take off those 4 bolts and get yourself a pry tool. Now these are 8 mils. Letting y'all know right now. Also, don't forget to mention this. Focus. There we go. This little guy right here is a 10 mil. 10 mil socket or 10 mil wrench, 10 mil ratchet wrench, whatever you guys want to use. I prefer sockets because I like to ratchet. I'm still ratchet, guys. Anyways, you get you guys 8 mil sockets, and you guys can take those 4 bolts off. Get yourself a little pry bar, a little flathead. I'm going to use a pry bar and just pick it up a little bit. And if your gasket isn't as loose or isn't as bad as mine or anybody else's, if it's still good, you probably could just use your hands to lift off the valve covers. But half the time, just use a flathead or like a plastic pry bar, plastic tool, and you can get it out. Because you don't want to scratch up your surface. That way, when you do get your gasket on there, there's no like sudden scratches, like in any indents that it can get seeped through. So that's the reason why we're doing this, to make sure no more leaks happen. Alrighty, I'm standing on the chair. Alrighty, so just to show you what I'm talking about, yeah, I was loosening up bolts and pulling them up because these actually don't come out. I'm letting you guys know right now, these don't come out. So you just want to pull them up enough to where they're not no longer inside. But as I already loosened that one up. As I was pulling this one up, it kind of just already came apart. So, that's pretty funny to me. But let's go ahead and take this other one loose, completely loose. That one took me by surprise. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's still on there. Okay, there we go. That one kind of took me by a little surprise. And we also have a hose here, it looks like, that is connected. That is the PCV hose, I believe. Just gonna loosen that, take that off. And now we can, let me get down off this chair. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, this is kind of sketchy, but you know, helps me get in there. And then we can go ahead and take this cover off and see what the problem is here. Ooh, very nice. So this gasket, you can see all that oil just coming out of the edge back here. Look at that. I mean, dude, the sucker was just skunked up. And look at that. These are the lifters that this vehicle is notorious for. I believe it's called the active fuel management. These lifters are notorious for not really failing, but always making that ticky noise after a while. So after a while, you got to get these replaced, but you have to pull the whole head out to get these guys out. So that's gonna be on a different video. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I got a burp. Give me a second. Oh, very nice, very nice. So yeah. So one problem at a time. One problem at a time. Alrighty. So this is the passenger side. Now this one's gonna be a little bit more difficult due to the compact space we have. So we're gonna try to move things around. I already took off this bracket that was right here. It's actually hiding the bolt that I need to take off for the coil pack bracket. And there should be one more that's under here. Yep. There's wires right there holding that one in. And then obviously you see that third one. And then so that's 3. Now there is one that's way back there that I gotta get to. And the last one looks like this one's gonna be right over here, right there. I don't know if you guys see that. Let me zoom in real quick. Oh, boom. So the fourth one, and then that last one is behind that coil pack, and that is actually in a very tight space. So hopefully a deep socket and small ratchet would be able to get in there. So we're gonna go ahead and take those covers off. Again, there was a bracket that was holding those hoses. I got them right here, and the bolt that's holding this bracket in is with it. Always keep your bolts, nuts, whatever that you take off, make sure you keep them together and you know where they're supposed to go back when you put everything back together. Now, we're gonna take out those 5 bolts, the wires off the coils. We're gonna take those off on this side. And then don't forget to take off that bracket that's on this side. Again, you just take that locking clip off. I call it the locking clip. Don't know if it's actually called a locking clip. You take that off and you just pull it off, and you already get the coils off. And just like the other side, don't believe you have to take off these coils, because it looks like that bracket's with the coil packs. So we'll go ahead and do that. You don't have to take this off either. You don't have to. So going ahead, take off those 5 bolts, and then we'll take off the 4 bolts holding in the valve covers. Alrighty, guys. So this side took a little bit longer. As I said, there's some stuff in the way. So I did, however, where is it at? Do not see it on the camera. Oh, the wire's in the way. Okay, so I did, okay, it's literally right there. I did have to loosen this bolt for the old dipstick, just to give myself a little room. Since this was stiff, I couldn't really move it around, and my hand was kind of getting stuck in places because it's usually like right there. So I had to move this around a little bit. And That last bolt that was back there, you guys can see the hole right there. I did have to loosen up the coils just to get to it. Now, the reason for that is because, unfortunately, I'm gonna let you guys know, to get that last bolt, you are gonna need a wrench, but you're gonna need a ratchet wrench just to make it a little bit easier, so that way you guys don't have to take that coil off. I mean, technically the coil is not even, the coil is off, but I didn't loosen the plug, so I kind of just moved it out the way. Now, I did try using the swivel with both this socket and a shorter socket, which is not even here. I think I put it back. No, it's over there. No, yeah, I put it back. And I tried using a smaller 10 with a smaller ratchet. Didn't really work. But a wrench, a ratchet wrench. It has a little spindle down here where you can literally just keep it on there and just keeps going. I'll put a picture over here or a link down below somewhere. That way you guys can know what I'm looking. You guys know what I'm talking about. But since I got that off, I can go ahead and get this bracket off. That was, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. That one was definitely, man. That one was kind of a little sore. But okay, we're going. I got all 5 brackets off. I got the clip off bracket. I got all the 5 nuts, bolts, what do you want to call it, bolts off. Now to take this bracket off, and I'll be able to take off this valve cover. To show you guys again, you do not have to take these off. These are literally on the back side of the bracket, so you don't have to take that off. However, on the passenger side, if you guys don't do a 5.3, you will, if you guys don't have the correct tools like I did, unfortunately, you will have to take this last coil off, move it to the side so you can get to that one. Now, I lost the bolts. I'm not gonna lie, yeah. No, I'm not. I lied. I lied to you again. I am gonna put these back where they're supposed to be, so that way I know I got to. I'm gonna leave it just like that, loose, so that way I'll know to take that off, so I can get this last focus. There goes this last bolt off. I mean on. And use a wrench for that, but we'll come back to that package when we come back to it. All right, let's go ahead and take off this valve cover, so that way, hang on, I'm gonna have a extension in your way real quick. Gotta put the sucker on. There it goes. Nope, I lied. Jesus Christ. Jesus, you guys can hear it. Look, hey, ASMR, guys. Oh snap, I can't do it. Give me a second. Oh, that sounds real good. Oh yeah, ASMR. Alrighty. So, like I said, obviously you're gonna have all this stuff in the way. Hoses. You guys have like zip ties, a bungee cords, or like rope. You guys can easily push this out the way. I don't have it here. I do not. I just got wires and stuff. So go ahead and loosen, and we're gonna drop stuff. That's what we're gonna do. It's kind of hard doing one-handed, so I'm just gonna take this off and then we'll get to the gasket part.